Hey guys, this is Pratik and you're watching Technocrat. If you're looking for a way to store your audio, then there would be definitely two things that would concern you. The length of audio that you can store in one go, and two, the quality with which you can retrieve this audio at a later point of time. In both these cases, digital audio is better than analog audio. Let's see how. The scheme of storage depends on the nature of data that is to be stored. Digital audio needs digital schemes to be stored and analog audio needs analog schemes to be stored. Digital audio basically has zeros and ones in it, so can be stored in a binary format. Analog audio has infinite number of amplitude values and has to be stored in mechanical formats or in magnetic formats. Let's see in detail what do we mean by these. Much before we had electricity, Thomas Alva Edison invented a way to record and store audio. It was through gramophones and phonographs. These gramophones had needles which were placed on rotating discs called vinyl records. These vinyl records were made of polyvinyl chloride or PVC. In a gramophone, the audio was stored mechanically. These vinyl records rotated at a constant speed of 78 rpm and were of different sizes like 6.5 inch, 8 inch and 10 inch. These vinyl records had bumps on them. The needle placed on these vinyl records used to pick up these small bumps and make sounds using a rotating drum. The audio record time for a small size vinyl record was not even 5 minutes. It's not even like a single track. A vinyl record, if preserved safely, would retain its quality for about centuries. The next big thing that happened in audio storage was cassettes. These cassettes stored data magnetically. These cassettes had magnetic tapes which were made of some ferrous materials. Magnetic materials like ferric oxide and chromium dioxide are used to store audio in these cassettes. There is a plastic tape at the core and the magnetic materials are placed at both sides of the tape. When you had to store an analog audio in this tape, then you have to orient the magnetic materials in different directions. Tape recorders do this. When you had to read this audio, you have to read the magnetic orientation of the tape. So typically an audio cassette gives you a record time of 45 minutes. Even a cassette gives you a fairly good quality of audio, but it has to be stored in a cold and dry place. These zeros and ones can be mapped exactly only to two different symbols. Digital data can be stored in CDs and flash drives. In a CD, dots and dashes are inscribed on the surface of the CD using a laser. Whereas in a flash storage, such as pen drive or a memory card, data can be stored by turning a flip-flop on or off. As there are only two distinct symbols, it becomes very easy to read the data. Now let's see why it is easy to recognize digital data even if it is damaged to an extent. Say suppose you have analog values from 0 to 1 and you have different amplitude levels at 0.1, 0.2 up till 0.9 and 1. So different symbols are used. So a difference between 0.2 to 0.3 would mean a lot in analog value. But when there are only two symbols in digital data like 0 and 1, then 0.2 or 0.3 can anyhow be approximated to 1. In this way, even a small damage in analog data would mean a colossal loss in data, but in digital data you will be able to make a fair approximation resulting in no loss of data. Through this video, I hope that you have understood that how audio is stored in digital and analog ways. This video is part of the series Understanding Audio. I've also made few other good videos like how noise cancellation happens, what are the different file formats, how bass is important, and also how microphone works, a speaker works, and also how an audio jack works. To have a better understanding of audio, do watch these videos. Subscribe to Technocrat if you haven't yet subscribed and do turn on notifications to never miss an update. I'm glad that you wanted to learn something new today and hope that you have learned something new from this video. Always believe in science and make the best possible use of technology. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.